Hi, everyone. So, Miss Y and Miss Mora, back to talk to you again.
Everyone.
We wanted to take some time to talk about automatic thoughts today.
So we're all on Zoom all day. Zoom anxiety is real. We all are experiencing this. It's hard. We are all in the same boat, and we just want to normalize that having some feelings of discomfort around getting on Zoom all day, every day is normal, and it's part of adjusting to new things. Anything that's kind of new for really all humans is going to come with some feelings of just, this isn't comfortable yet. So we want to just explore this, and we're going to do this in a couple of series, and this is kind of the first introduction to that. So we want you to think about whether you're having some anxiety about getting on Zoom and whether that's holding you back. Like, is your goal to feel less anxious because you want to get more out of your classes? And are you feeling like, if I could kind of get some control over the discomfort that I'm feeling, would I be in a better place to do whatever it is your goals are? Whether that's participating in class more, whether that's connecting with your teachers, connecting with your classmates, or just having a more kind of positive high school experience. So we're going to talk about one part of some Zoom anxiety, which is automatic thoughts, and we're going to watch a video, and then we're going to talk about it.
Today, we're going to talk about ATs, also known as automatic thoughts. They're those destructive and unreasonably negative thoughts that you have that make things go from bad to worse. Avoiding ATs feels as impossible as avoiding red lights when you're running late. You're gonna hit one or two, or every single light from your house to work on that morning that your report's due at 9 a.m. and your boss is already on the edge and you might just get fired and then get evicted and... See? Automatic thoughts can pop up and escalate as easy as that. Regardless of reality, ATs are the things that help you build a couple of red lights up to an Armageddon-scale catastrophe in a matter of seconds. Today on Wellcast, we're going to show you how to manage those harmful automatic thoughts with healthier, rational ones. And we're going to use our triple R exercise. You are going to record, rationalize, and replace your ATs. But first, how serious are ATs? A study at UCLA shows that people who got caught in cycles of automatic negative thinking became clinically depressed, self-critical, and less successful in both their work and personal lives. According to Dr. Glenn Scaraldi, these negative, disordered ATs fall into 13 categories, all of which take a toll on your mental health. Here are some of the categories. Assuming or mind reading. Like when you are sure someone is mad at you, even though you haven't spoken to them just because they walked in and didn't say hi. Shoulds, musts, and oughts. Those are the insane demands that we make upon ourselves in our quest to be impossibly perfect. The fairy tale fantasy, where we demand an ideal for our life and decide that anything less than that ideal just isn't fair. Overgeneralizing. Nobody likes me. I always ruin everything. And finally, catastrophizing. When you take a little problem and turn it into a big, terrible, life-changing event. How do we stop ATs? Good question. And the shorter answer is we don't. But by being conscious of the fact that we're having them and working to replace them with rational thoughts, we can keep them from endangering our mental health. And that is today's exercise. All right, everybody, take out your Wellcast journal. It's time to learn the 3 R's. Step 1, record an upsetting event. When something upsetting happens during the day, describe it in your Wellcast journal and record it in excruciating, painful detail. For example, today I found out that I got a C on my midterm. Step 2, rationalize. Now it's time to think about the automatic thoughts associated with the event. Pause and print this chart. In column 1, write down each AT you had about the upsetting event. For example, I am never going to graduate. In the second column, try and label each distortion. Some ATs might be rational, but most won't be. They'll most often fall into one of the categories we discussed. I am never going to graduate category of catastrophizing. Step 3, replace. In the third column, respond to each distorted AT. Talk back. Get those negative thoughts off your chest. And if it's hard to do that, try to imagine what you say to a friend who is struggling with their own AT and say it to yourself. When you're responding to those ATs, ask yourself some questions like, what's the evidence for this response? Is this a believable outcome for my situation? Will the world end if I get a C on this midterm? Of course not. So as time goes on and you're more used to responding to your ATs instead of letting them take over your life, you should be able to replace those ugly negative thoughts with more rational ones. Let's recap. To keep your automatic thoughts from ruining your mood and running rampant, you're going to record upsetting events, rationalize them by addressing each irrational thought, and replacing the irrational automatic thought with a rational one. The world is not going to end. Tweet us at WatchWellcast. Email us at watchwellcast@gmail.com.
Okay. So we hope that that was helpful. One of the things that we wanted you to notice as we kind of begin this discussion on automatic thoughts, and don't worry about the journal that it referenced, we'll kind of get to that and we'll get more in depth. But right now we just want to put some discussion questions out there. So this is a point where maybe your teacher will pause and have this discussion as a class, but if not, we're just going to ask you these questions and you can answer to your own self. So take some time to think about the most common automatic thought you have when you join a Zoom meeting. That first thought when you realize it's 9 o'clock and I have to click this link, that first thought that kind of gets you, that's your automatic thought. And then pause and think about, what are you most worried about? Is it your appearance? Is it your surroundings? What is it? And if you could change one thing, what would it be? So this is something that's that's called the miracle question. So if a miracle happened and things changed overnight, how would they be different? What would be different? And maybe there are some things that you're able to change and that you actually have control over. And finally, does it feel like you're the only one having this experience? And we're just going to take a moment to say, no, there's a reason we're making this video, right? We're not making it because one person told us they're having this experience. We're making it because many, many of you are struggling with Zoom anxiety. So we just wanted to put it out there and let you know that it's video worthy, which means it's happening a lot, not just at Taft, but all over. And it's really worth discussing.
So in our next video, we're going to get into a more kind of in-depth discussion around how to challenge some of these negative thoughts. So how to kind of put them on trial, so to speak, and not let them take over. And then, you know, next thing you know, it's been 15 minutes and you've been on this kind of rat race of trying to gain some control over some of these thoughts. So we're going to go through some of not only the ways to challenge them, but then how do you replace them with more positive thoughts? How do you replace them and say, wait, do I need to kind of let my brain take me on this roller coaster? Or can I stop it and say, I'm okay, you know, these awful things that I think might happen aren't going to happen or are likely not going to happen. So I really like some of the questions on the graphic that's on here. Is there another way to look at it? What would I say to a friend? And we mentioned that before. What are all the possible outcomes? Am I making assumptions? You know, maybe we're worried about our shirt or our background and we're thinking everyone else is noticing this, right? But the truth is no one's really noticing it. And if they did, maybe it popped into their mind, but then they have a million other things that they're thinking about too. So this is just a preview of more of what's to come to kind of answer some of the questions around how we challenge these automatic thoughts that all of us experience from some time, one time or another. And for definitely on Zoom, we're all in the same boat with you. So looking forward to see you all soon. And until then, bye everybody.
Thanks for joining us.